Well, I have a longstanding chronic illness, and when I was actually under upper cervical care in California, after trying some traditional chiropractics, not really finding the benefit that I wanted, did a lot of research and honed in on the upper cervical, and it just really, in addition to pain, all of the neurological, cognitive, it just made so much sense to me, because when you consider that between your skull and your neck, there's no connection. It's all just ligaments. And so it just really brought to kind of like cemented in my mind like how important that location was. I was recently diagnosed with this condition. It's called Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. And it affects your ligaments and connective tissue. And I was assessing my neck and had some MRIs and stuff like that, and noted that my neck was out of alignment. And with Ehlers Danlos, some people end up becoming so unstable that they need to have surgery and fusion. So I've already mostly fused. I really wanted to avoid that, and so I said, all right, I need to get back with upper cervical. And I went to the Blair Association and found that there was Dr. Kublish here in Boulder, and I was like, oh, because it wasn't here when I first moved. Found her, and I was like, here I come, because I knew that with this condition, you really have to pay attention to that part. So I knew and expected to be with her for the long haul. I read on her profile that she had a history of scoliosis. I myself, that's where I had fusion, was for scoliosis. And so I felt that immediate connection that she probably understood not only scoliosis, which you could often see in Ehlers Danlos Syndrome and hypermobility syndromes. I was like, okay, I feel like this is good. And then just kind of picking her brain from everything that I've learned about Ehlers Danlos, hypermobility, your CCJ or your cranial cervical junction. Not to mention the fact that she's just quite lovely, very nice, good sense of humor, not too, stiff. So one of my biggest problems is stiffness, pain, and really difficult with range of motion. And that, one of the most profound adjustments that I had, I came in here after waking up. I could not turn. We did my range of motion from this to this to this to this, zero. Turning to the left, zero. And it was just extremely painful. And so, we did the assessment. We decided, yes, I needed an adjustment. Did the adjustment. When I got into my car, could absolutely turn. And it was that profound. I always feel a little bit benefit when my pain is a little bit better. I even actually have that picture I showed you where my head was completely shifted to the side after the adjustment was back in alignment. So for me, number one, just knowing that my neck is preserved. Even if I didn't feel anything, just knowing that I'm taking care of that from the Ehlers Danlos hypermobile situation, I feel very confident that that's a very important piece for my health. However, I do experience a lot of reduction in pain and that range of motion, for sure. Well, first of all, people, if they talk about chiropractors, they usually will start saying, I'm going to go see a chiropractor. And I know that they're going to the snap, crackle, pop, adjusting everything, which, I guess maybe does have its place. But for anybody that's having, especially just primarily neck issues, I just feel that there's so much more going on than just the pain that probably needs to be addressed. The fact that it is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that originally when our chiropractic first started being developed, I want to say in the 1930s, it was actually upper cervical, which was the first. So it's got the longest standing history, and they tie it together with all the cognitive stuff as well. And so I would tell people that, first of all, it's not a harsh adjustment at all. You get the benefit of this 3D rendering, which I think is just amazing because you can just see it from every single angle. The fact that you do the scans and you can see. Another thing that I think is really, really particularly telling about this is that if I come in here and we do the scan and I don't need an adjustment, we don't touch me. Whereas you go into a chiropractor, they will adjust you every single time. And I feel like that's just kind of maybe like a cookie cutter approach to body wellness and care, whereas this is just so much more individualized.